My name is Ahmed Yerima. I'm a professor of theatre arts and cultural studies. I have been teaching here for the past 13 years, 14 years. And I'm presently the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the Redeemers University. I think my job is very simple as the Deputy Vice Chancellor. I have a Vice Chancellor, and the university has a set form of visions and goals. And what I have to do is make sure that I achieve that, help them to achieve that. And that's help the university to achieve that, and most of all, help the Vice Chancellor realize his own dreams and goals. And that is to make sure that the university produces the best students in the country, if not in the world. At the same time, to encourage the university's staff to make sure that they are confident enough to carry out their duties, because as Deputy Vice Chancellor, you're also the chairman of quite a number of subcommittees, and these committees either report directly to the Vice Chancellor or to Senate or to Council. And so you find yourself all the time asking for what's the rules and regulations. You are like a rules and regulations man. And you're also helping to perfect the dreams of the various individuals in church. And so the first thing I always do is to ask the Vice Chancellor, what are your dreams? What are your goals? Because when they're going to talk about the university from last year, when the new Vice Chancellor came, they will be asking for Professor Shadrach Akindele's dream. And also mine is how well have helped him perfect it, and that's it. And so almost like you compliment the Vice Chancellor, and also make sure that the dreams and achievements and goals of the Vice Chancellors are fulfilled, and so it makes you think less and have energy to do more physically. I think that is more practical for me. One, because the Vice Chancellor read his like a riot act, like this is what I've come to do, his dream, his aims and objectives. And like I said, the university has them too. And so what you are doing as a Deputy Vice Chancellor is making sure that there is a cohesion, a synergy between both. And you're like the voice of the Vice Chancellor when he's not there, you represent him. But at the same time, you also know that other staff, especially the deans, have their own dreams and goals. And then the Senate has their own dreams and goals, and they're all made up of different people. And you're all looking at also the appointment and promotions. You're looking, and you, as the Deputy Vice Chancellor, you're also in charge of admissions, and you are in charge of convocation. So these are all those major issues, and you're also in charge of bulk purchase. And you understand. So you do a lot, but at the same time, you have to talk less and do more, because there's so much to do. And the Vice Chancellor can't be everywhere at the same time, so you find yourself putting on the graduation suit or the, what's it called, a jacket all the time, trying to stand in for him. And so that's it. So what you have to, I think I do, is listen more, know what the university wants, and at the same time, what the individuals want. And you have to also open a link with the student union, especially, and the president and his officers, so that you also know what they want, and then you become the liaison officer between that and management. And that allows me to come almost like a link where you are able to try to make sure that everybody gets a piece of what the Vice Chancellor wants, and at the same time keep a very subtle eye on what they're doing, and then be able to have discussion times with the Vice Chancellor to know how far this has been achieved. Crisis management, there's bound to be crisis, even though we are a faith-based university, which does half of the job for you, because everybody is bound with the fear and respect of God, and also our great father, Pastor Adeboye, where you say, oh, I don't want him to hear that the university he was used by God to found is going the other way. And so you find that in order to do that, your ear has to be to the ground. You need to know what's going on, the heartbeat. And sometimes you find me taking a drive around the whole campus just to see what's going on. And at the same time, trying to establish this trust by the students that they can talk to you as a father. And it's not like you're going to mock them. And then at the same time, the parents too, you don't know how they get your number. They have your number, and they call you when they call the Vice Chancellor and he's busy. And so they call you and tell you things as like, my daughter has a tummy trouble and would like to eat rice instead of X food, a bar or so. And you have to be there. And because they start small, crises always start small, and then they grow into big things. And if you don't nip them in the bud, and so that's what crisis management is all about. And then staff who are looking forward to being promoted, and they want to know why they're not promoted, and because if they're not promoted, they're not happy, and if they're not happy, then there's a problem. You understand? And you find even the gardeners, the what's it called, the cooks, especially the security officers who have to keep an eye. They need to know that somebody trusts them, and the Vice Chancellor may not have the time for that all the time, and so you have to cover in, and you don't wait for crises to come up. Sometimes they come, like we lose 1 or 2 students. You have to be there also to make sure that the parents get the news well. That's the most difficult part of this job. And then at the same time, then write a report that makes sense, and also show empathy. And so that's for me, and the students are watching. They want to know what the university feels. I think the major problem, the major task about the job of being Deputy Vice Chancellor is being able to communicate without too much personal feelings into it, making it sound official, but at the same time emotional. It's contradictory, isn't it? But you find that that's what it's all about. You have to be very matured, very communicative, and at the same time, even transparent yourself, because people are trying to see how genuine you are, first to the cause of the university and also to the dreams of the students, because I also have students and I have to teach, and they are watching. If the job's gotten into your head, you're no longer human. so you know, I think that's what it's all about. And do not forget also that you're like a small face of the university after the Vice Chancellor. So you have to be very careful. It's a responsible job. In fact, well, this is my, I think, 10th year in the University Council. The first time I was voted in as a member of the council, of the governing council. And at that time, we didn't have alumni represented. And it was very interesting when I became DVC and I came into council and I found two members, Mido And I was very happy because one, no matter how experienced you are as a lecturer, you do not have the feeling, and you've attended schools abroad or in Nigeria, you do not have the same feeling as someone who went through run. You understand? And so when someone who went through run is talking with experience, he's talking with from a very personal point of view, and so you have to listen. You understand? And I think what it did was to bridge the gap between sitting down and saying, oh, I attended London, Oxford, and all that. And then you now say, I know what students feel because I'm a father. You understand? And I think that brought a kind of, it made it more realistic when you say we want to discuss the problems of the university from the students' point of view. And because they are closer to the students, they feel what the students, they felt it and they still feel it. And so when they're speaking, we listen more. And I think that has brought a kind of cohesion, a very positive cohesion between the university and the policy implementation. And we found that sometimes we've had to amend policy implementation because they have been able to advise us firsthand. And whether you like it or not, they love the university more than we do, because it's their alma mater. I will do the same for my own university. I will say, oh no, this is the best school in the world. And so it becomes one has to be very careful. And that's why I'm happy about that. And then becoming the Deputy Vice Chancellor and having access to I always like it when the president comes to me and says, I'm the new president, sir. My name is so. And I say, okay, so let's talk. And what dreams do you have, Mr. President? And he says, I want to do this, I want to buy a bus, And in my mind, I say, okay, this is good. And how are you going to achieve it? And you know, and then you begin to understand what it's all about. And then you find that, look, there are no little children anymore, especially in the system of running the school. You don't say, okay, there's a dichotomy between being the staff and the student, or being the Deputy Vice Chancellor and being the president. You understand? And I think a year ago, the president came and said, we'd like you to be our staff patron or someone. And I said, really? Are you sure it's me? You get the point. And when they came and started talking about their views, we want to buy a bus, we want to buy this, you found that they're not, like you would say, young children without ambition. You get to understand that these are the owners of tomorrow, and these are the owners of the university tomorrow. And so you have to listen more. And so when they bought the bus, I said, oh, you did, you got the bus, you understand? And I think something happened this last set when the president brought his father, a doctor of security studies and all, to come and give a lecture. And I was there, and I listened, and I found that there was a closeness more in terms of what he was saying. And one of the advice he gave us, like, let everybody who comes into the university who is not a student have a tag with a color, and and he was talking, you understand. And I made sure I told the Vice Chancellor, and promptly the Vice Chancellor carried it out, and we are very happy with that. Because now when you're coming in, even during convocation, we know the difference between visitors, and it kind of makes our security consciousness more plausible. And this is done because of just one student organizing a program and making it relevant to the university as a whole. And so you get that synergy when you're looking at working with the students, whether students as graduates, youth students as there was an occasion where an ex-student said, oh, this thing is still here. And I said, yes, what about it? What are you talking about? Do you want us to change it? He said, yes, and brought about ideas, you understand. And so the university would learn, management would learn, even after I've left. I'm sure the next Deputy Vice Chancellor would learn more also. And I pray that he also has the patience to be able to implement some of the views, because you do have the views, you know, about where the university should go. It's your school. We are just helping to get it together. I remember Daddy Gio saying his prayer is that in years to come, the university graduates would be the owners, they will own the school, and you know, and I think that's it. And for them to own the school, we must be relevant. We must be relevant to research what's going on in the world. And I think we've been lucky so far because we have SG there. But SG is not the only thing we should have. And so I think my colleagues and I are busy looking at different things that would take the areas that would take the school forward, like the earth science faculty, which is just being developed right now. And we want to thank Professor Joseph there for giving us a building. And we're looking at the built environment also. And our dream is the School of Basic Medical Sciences, where we're hoping, my own personal dream, if I had money, I would have done it, but I don't have, but I know that it's going to come, where we're going to have a full medical school, you understand? And then the research will be done. But I'm in the humanities, and I know what I do in terms of the plays I write and how they attract attention to the university. And it's nice to know that, you know, people come to the school and say, look, we want to interview Yerima because he's top there when it comes to theater and drama and so what's going on. And I think that's where the university begins to grow. We must build on what we have. People like Christian Happy, people like Lukani, and I think what again I love is the consistency of our inaugural lectures these days, you understand? And so at that level it goes. But again, at the point of undergraduate level, that is where it should start. And I think that's where the alumni will come in, and all those people who are helping us evolve those programs. Because the competition between universities or amongst universities is much now. And so it's not enough to just say, we want to be a university, a science university. We have to be, has to be a rounded university. And that's why even in Christian religious studies, we are looking at producing drama ministers, you understand, where we will also have an effect there. If we say we're a faith-based university, we must also touch that. I've had the privilege of asking Daddy Gio, why did you have a drama department in a private university? Then we're the only department, we're only private university that had a drama department. And he said, you know, with time I will know. And now I begin to know, especially when people like Mike Bamilo is collaborating with the university, you understand? And we're beginning to have that. And we're beginning to understand that, look, in terms of collaboration with the Bible College and all that, the university will grow both spiritually and scientifically and in the humanities. And we have history, and we have, what's it called, the other courses here, which we are working on gradually, which are coming in law. Our law is taking root, and with the kind of staff we have there, then we will do that. But we're just going to be 20 years next year. And research takes a long time. I know how long it takes me to write a play. You understand? Just a play. And to do the research, to get the language. I write a play 5 times to be able to write it. And so when people say, oh, it's a great play, oh, you won the Nigerian Prize for Literature, oh, Yerima, you're great. I say, if you only know the drop of sweat that goes with one play, you understand? And so I've learned to understand what that is all about, especially when it comes to research. Research is slow at first, but it begins to take roots, begin to come in and begin to find its place. And there must be consistency. And I think that's what it has to be. There must be consistency. And that's why I'm busy training 1 or 2 people who will take over from me when I leave, so that they don't say, oh yes, yeah, Yerima was here and he's gone. So they don't write plays in run anymore. They don't do enough humanities, or Happy is gone, and their studies in genomics have crashed. And I know Happy is producing PhD students. Our PhD school has risen. I remember when I was provost, we only had, I took over, I think we had 57 students. By the time I handed over, we had handed over 600 students. And at the last meeting we had with the provost and the vice chancellor, we had 800 plus postgraduate students. So that's the whole thing about research. And then we need to create an atmosphere for what's called an environment for studies, for where students can go, and that's where the library is growing. I'm always so proud of the library, because each time the NUC come here on what's called, they say we want to visit the library, and then they visit the library, and then they come back and say, oh, that's one of the best libraries we've seen, and we would like to. In fact, in my own field, the assessors came and said, could we make photocopies of these books? You understand? And I think that's what it's all about. But most of all is the students. We have to imbibe a culture of research, of wanting to find out, being inquisitive in terms of academics, and saying, this is what we want to do, this is what I want to be, and also give them a gamut of understanding. The spread research has to do. Now the university and the BOT are also interested in trying to, because when it comes to assessing universities, you're looking at the kind of research output which comes out from the staff and also from the students. What can they make? What do they do? You understand? And so that's what it's all about. And the BOT is trying to find a way of helping the students and staff, especially the staff, to write more papers, because that's what they use for assessment. Your impact in world knowledge and what's all about. And so this is why research is very important to run. And we've said in one of our documents, we said we want to produce the best students, we want to make impact, we want to make create an excellent excellent atmosphere for growth and development. And I think we will get there. We're going to get there by His grace. It's just a matter of time. Now, funding. First, we need to thank Daddy Gio and Mommy Gio, because for a long time it was their baby. We were their babies. You understand? And in fact, this question linked up with the last convention, where Daddy Gio now said, look, and you can understand, at 82, you can't be giving him such responsibilities anymore. You understand? I mean, people have to share it. And that's why he says, I'm ready to share the responsibility. This is our university. We have to lift it up, because there's a lot more you need. In fact, this Saturday, I think, I took a drive to Osun State University. And I said, I just want to know, because it's good to know your competition. You understand? And so you don't sit at meetings and just wear suit and say, we're doing well, we're doing well. How well are you doing? And then you now say, okay, these people are funded by the state. And so you can see all these big buildings, tech fund and all that. And we are funded by faith and by individuals who believe in the vision of the university. And so ours might be slow because we don't have the billions and millions of tech funds to spend, but are we spending it in the right direction? Have we identified our strength? Because it's when you identify your strength and you make an impact that people are saying, I'm interested in funding this. It's like the Chief Joseph, the man with the Josephus who built the building there. And he just said, look, I'm in geology, and I would like to give you a building that would enhance the study of geology in your university. And with the name he has created, Afolabi, he wants that to be at that level. And that you will find again with the person of General Theophilus Danjuma, who built this, and Sir Petro, that built the engineering building for us. So we are hoping that this is a kind of funding, because funding, and when I acted as VC for just 2 months, I know how much we spent on just buying machines, equipment, you understand? And I think what made me so proud of Ron was those who came to for the accreditation of NUC said, oh, we've seen some machines that we don't know that they exist in Nigeria, and we would like to come and be using it as a collaborative thing with the university. And so it takes time to build up the reputation for research. It also takes time to encourage people to fund your equipment. And that's why I'm so proud of Professor, and I think the whole school is proud of Professor Happy, because there was a machine he brought and they were bringing it down and we were saying, oh, what's this about? And it was being forklift and all lifted and all that. And then I found out that there are only 2 of that machine in the world. And one is in the US, I think Harvard, and one is here. And in fact, some visitors who came from the US and went to they said, do you guys have something and you didn't let us know? You understand? Okay, for that, we'd like to work with you. So that's what funding is all about. It's no longer just about Naira and Kobo. It's now the emphasis, what you're going to spend the money on and how it's going to add up to the growth and development of the university at the end of the day. At the same time, it takes us time to be able to convince people what we're doing and how we're going to get about it. But we'll get there. We'll get there by His grace. First, don't jackpot. That's my first advice, because we didn't train you to go give your expertise to the other side of the world. But at the same time, it's good to go outside the world. I schooled at Ife, I went to the University of London, so it's good to do that, to know what's going on. But go there to be able to assess what's going on and what you can bring back in terms of knowledge to your university and to your country. And also do not forget Ron, because it's your baby at the end of the day. I still take a drive. When I was ready for my sabbatical, I went back to Ife and I said, I want to know how much Ron has tampered with my brain and how much I have added to what Ife taught me. And it was fun. For 1 year, I kept on and I came out writing another book, which was very helpful for me, and also for my students. So that's what it has to be. I think you must maintain a relationship, and that's why I want to thank officers of the alumni, and I want to pray that we get subsequent officers that will be concerned about the university. And I think the university is always ready to learn, because you know that it's a learning process. Growth is a learning process. You make mistakes, you fall, you grow, you pick up, And why it's even a stronger learning process is because you have competition. You have you have so many universities to beat. I don't even want to mention their names. And so you got to say, look, I don't have time to bicker, or I just want to focus and concentrate. And I think, and most of the time, I would like also that the students pray, the graduates especially, pray constantly for their university. And I have a sense of commitment. I attended Baptist Academy, and whatever happened since that school, I was head boy. They still call me and tell me, look, this is going on. This man is ill, your classmate is late, and and you find us still rallying around, you understand, on trying to help. And so that's the kind of commitment. My school was set up in 1860 something, so you'll understand. But for a school that was set up in 205, but it's slow and steady, and it grows, and that's how that relationship must be there always. The students must own the school, and that's what Daddy Gio does during convocation. You remember when the students go for the anointing service, and he says, "It's yours. We finished. All we need to do is put the cement together, but you do the books and you do the bring the children." And now we're beginning to have kids from our students, which is wonderful, which is a beautiful relationship. Because a student came to me and said, "You taught my mother." I said, "So?" You understand? And he says, "And my mom said I should come and look for you." And I said, "Okay, I was daddy to your mom. Why can't you be your daddy? You get up now and be strong." And so we're family. You understand? And that's fun. That's what it's all about.